back to the Coach's Corner, Rollo's Roundtable. And Coach, first order of business, congratulations. Nice win last week, 56-3. It was like 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag last week. Homecoming, senior night, and then you had the new twins out there. What a celebration last Friday night.
No, it was a lot of fun. I was kind of nervous before the game. You know, we didn't have a great week of practice. It wasn't bad, and you know, they're a good football team, and you know, we didn't start out the way I had envisioned. One of my keys to victory was to make a statement in the first quarter, and you know, we promptly had a bad snap, and you know, then we're playing defense, and we had a 3rd and 6. We jump off sides. But, you know, you forget that, you know, these kids they settled in and the playmakers took over. And you know, it ended up being a great homecoming night. And you know, the people here at Modern Day, they do such a great job. Diana Newstead, in charge of our student body, the everything. We had 2 rallies Friday that were a lot of fun, especially the second rally, since my guys, you know, caught dance fever. But and then, you know, that night, I'll tell you what, senior introductions is special, you know, and you saw the families, you know, being with their sons. And you know what, Kevin, that's what it's all about. You know, it's football, but it's high school football. It's about your family and the sacrifices that the families have made to allow their sons to have this great education. And, you know, then play a game of football. And then we had a great Saturday. The motivation chain is rather high this week.
Well, what I thought was a lot of fun last week was seeing the seniors, and obviously the Ohana, the Polynesian heritage comes out in living color, and the adoration and the floral arrangements with the Polynesian Hawaiian leis was just off the charts.
Wasn't it beautiful? And the moms that gave me mine, that, you know, I was grateful, but it was almost like they were honored. I don't know how to describe it. It's such a beautiful culture of people, and you know how much I care about my guys. And then I'm standing there with you know, my grandson, who's 2 weeks old, and Caroline has I had Jimmy, and she had John and Jack, as we referred to him, and I couldn't take my eyes off him. And I sort of, but it put it in perspective. I go, really, you know, win or lose, I won. I won big. And then we lined up, you know, and Catherine had Chase and Hadley there, and obviously Joey and Matt are fixtures. And little Kate had been not feeling great, but she sucked it up because I told her she better suck it up. But, you know, the whole family, you know, the girls were with me, and obviously, you know how much I care about my wife, my lovely Lori. And it was beautiful. We took a family picture, and Christmas cards down.
Yeah, you got it taken care of.
Exactly.
Well, I even talking about it right now, and when you were there live to see it, Jacob Kongaika and Mo Tapuosa harmonizing the national anthem, you know, without any warm up, coming out. They're locked and loaded, and they're getting ready for a football game. They're about ready to go to war, and then they have to compartmentalize. They walk in, take the microphone. I've never heard an ovation like they were given after that amazing rendition of our national anthem.
You know, when I got home, the first thing that Lori said to me, she said, "Why didn't you have the team on the field?" Well, I can't, because everything is choreographed on the football side of it. But yet I was so jealous of everybody, because I could kind of hear it once, you know, I was in our prayer, and I knew I was missing something special. But Lori said something that is resonating still in my head. She goes, "Bruce," she goes, "it brought tears to my eyes." She goes, they're in their uniforms, and they're just nailing it. And she said, I'll be honest, she goes, I got emotional. And then she's been to every one of my games. She's never missed a game. And you know, a compliment to Jacob and Mo. But compliment to modern day football and our performing arts department. I can't take credit. It was the director's idea, and they were so tentative. And I go, are you? Yeah, go. I'll figure it out. Just do it. It's going to be awesome, and it was.
We were on our way down to San Diego, and it popped up on my wife's Instagram page, and I go, well, how many people have looked at it so far? And this was Sunday afternoon. They had already had like 5,500 views of that amazing rendition. So congratulations to you and your boys, and you've got a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
Not just what they accomplish on the football field, but as academicians and artists. I mean, these are true Renaissance men here at Mater Dei High School.
Not bad for a couple 300-pounders, huh?
Hey, just a reminder, the Coach's Corner, Rollo's Roundtable, brought to you each and every week by Bear Dynasty Paint. Bear premium product can be purchased. It's available at your nearby Home Depot. And Hooker Crook, this is our Field Reserve blend out of Lodi. Absolutely great product to celebrate a Mater Dei victory after a game. Available at your nearby Costco. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick time out, and when we come back, we're going to have the Anthem boys here, both Mo Tapuosa and also Jacob Kongaika, coming up next, right around the corner. Stay tuned. And we want to welcome you back to Coach's Corner, Kevin Turner, and we are now joined by a couple of stud three-stripers on the offensive side, defensive side, Jacob Kongaika and Mo Tapuosa. Gentlemen, thanks for taking time out of your academic schedule. We just teased it a little bit. You guys are true Renaissance men. What an amazing job. I mean, walk us through the preparation of what happened last week. You guys come out essentially cold. You don't get to rehearse with the microphone out there at 5,000 people, standing room only, and you guys knock it out of the park with an amazing rendition of the National Anthem. What was that? I'll start with you, Jacob, first. What was that like?
It was pretty nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun just to get it over with and just sing.
Now, you had a little practice. For the Rollo Invitational, you were out front and center among 1,500 alums and boosters doing the National Anthem at Old Ranch Country Club, and you did a fine job that morning as well.
Yes, sir. It was a great opportunity. That was a lot of fun that morning. Yeah.
So, Mo, let me turn it over to you. By the way, Mo Tapuosa, he is the starting right guard for Mater Dei, and congratulations. You just made your announcement to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. So congratulations is in order. It's quite an accomplishment. So tell us what it was like to rehearse and get ready, and a little bit about the performing arts program here at Mater Dei.
Well, to rehearse, it was pretty easy because I just had to go off of Jacob. And you already know Jacob. He's probably one of the best singer, if not the best singer at this school. So, I mean, I just had to go off of him, and he made it easy to go off of him. So, yeah. And the performing arts over here at Mater Dei is just top-notch, People talk about the Mater Dei football and Mater Dei athletics, but they also forget about the performing arts. And me and Jacob, we joined, and we both love every second of it, and I recommend everybody to join. So,
anything on tap? Are you guys what's your next performing arts event?
We're opening up, I think, for RCC. They're having a concert this Thursday, and then we have two more concerts on Sunday and Monday of this upcoming week.
So Jacob, let's talk for a moment about your future. We've just talked about Mo going to Morgan State. There's some rumors out there, some Pac-12 offers, UCLA in the hunt. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, UCLA is a great school. They offered me, and we've just been keeping in touch and went to one of their games, and it was a great experience.
Well, I've got something for you. We talked about it Friday at the game, and I've followed up with it. And I think that this is going to be a new tradition. It's going to stay in the Mater Dei locker room, but as part of the Ohana tradition, this is awarded to you, this ukulele, and the idea is you pass this along each and every week to one of your fellow Polynesian brothers, and whoever gets player of the game, whether it's on offense or defensive side, you're playing this on the bus ride home.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. The first annual recipient of the Ukulele Ohana Award, so congratulations to both of you.
So much.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just turn to business real quick. Servite Week. Just give us a quick synopsis of what this week means to you as a three-striper, as a senior.
For me, I think it's very important that we take this week very serious and just get to business, and we got to beat them.
Mo?
You know, everybody thinks coming to Mater Dei is about playing Bosco, but when you get to Mater Dei, you realize Servite's the real game. They're going to bring it to us every time, so we just got to let them know who's boss.
Well, under the Rollinson era, you guys know the record is sitting taped up on everybody's locker, 28-3. There were 3 years in a row where I think that's still, like an abscess tooth for the old coach. So you know how important this week is, for Coach Rollinson. This is the big one, boys. So
Sure.
Continued success, stay healthy, and take us out and with a few bars here on that ukulele.
Mo?
All right, Mo, let's do it. We
I
haven't
don't
really
know.
tuned it, but let's go ahead and give it a try.
Oh, it's out of tune.
Just give it a strum. Take us out.
Jacob, sing for us. Come on.
I don't know what to say.
It's out of tune, but I don't know.
All right, that'll do it. Mo and Jacob, congratulations. Enjoy that ukulele. Get it tuned up just like on Saturday night, 8 o'clock, the Santa Ana Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, guys. We'll
Thank
be
you.
back with the head coach, and then we'll have C.J. Williams and Cooper Barkate on the offensive side coming up next. And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Kevin Turner, along with legendary Mater Dei head football coach Bruce Rollinson. I love those guys, man. They are they're a lot of fun, and congratulations to both of them. Both, as we mentioned, on and off the field. Tremendous accomplishment.
No, you know what? This is kind of a beginning, a learning. Putting them behind a camera, they shied up a little, and it's like when Jacob went off camera, he goes, "I won't be shy Saturday night," and you should have pushed him. Mo was given that, the ukulele's out of tune. You should have pushed him into it, and we'll bring him back and get him to sing a song. But no, those are two very good football players, two great young men, and obviously this is what it's all about. And this is why I love the podcast. A chance for our fans to get to know young men like Jacob and like Mo, and see them without the helmet and the pads, and they're just kids. They're good kids, though. They're good kids.
Yeah, it's just, to me, people talk about, I think we talked about this off camera a couple weeks ago. When I'm out in the community, there's Mater Dei's sort of like Howard Cosell. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
And frequently I get the credit, it's a football factory. But when you see, just take a look at last year's class. We had 3 young men go to Ivy Leagues, and we had 2 go to service academies. And I'm saying, this is a college prep program, and the academic rigors here at Mater Dei, rival. Obviously there's some really good schools in the Trinity League, and I would say the Trinity League in totality has that college prep, so you're going to get good educations at any of these schools that are in the league. But the demands that are put on these young men and women who run your back end and that are the gals out there with the training table and taping up and part of your support staff, they're here for many hours on end, and then the academic rigors to get into a major college or an Ivy League or a service academy or SC or University of Washington. Those are really tough schools academically.
The hardest part, Kevin, is I've tried to solve everything in the development of a high school athlete. High end strength training. Scott Prohaska, high end speed and linear and lateral movement training. Again, Scott and our strength staff. The best in rehabilitation to get them back out there. Pro Sport, Joe Donahue. The one thing I've never been able to solve is rest. But everything you read, especially about teenage adolescents, is rest. What do? You just encourage them that after we get done Saturday, which we try to get them out of here by noon. Of course, they've been here since 7:45. But just rest, hydrate, eat a small village, and get some rest. But I know, because I've talked to enough parents, they got academics and they're boom, 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 and they're studying and I know people are saying, oh yeah, Rollinson. No, they have to have a certain GPA. There are qualifications to get into not just the NCAA qualifications, which are much more rigorous than when you and I went to college, and then you have the kids that a pulse exactly and a 40 time, but you know it's a tremendous demand, and then I put a lot of pressure on them, but forward thinkers like Patrick Murphy and Jerry Campo and our present Father Jenkins, Walter Jenkins, they're looking at a curriculum that allows a Jacob Kongaika or a Mo Tapuosa to take the arts and not just singing. You know, we have this whole production, ladies and gentlemen, is being put on by students right now, led by Justin Cuevas, our new student video and producer. And you talked about the gals that the training staff. That's a class they take. That's an academic, and it's a class that they can use for college credits. And if they took it as a female athlete, NCAA qualified. So that's how you build this thing, and you offer opportunities like that for the students. But it still spins back to they're burning the candle at both ends.
Right. So it was 28 years ago when I came to Mater Dei and we did our first game together. It was Mater Dei Servite right out of the box, and that's 28 years ago. It's always been a special week for me because it takes me back to our original roots. But when you and I first sat down that week and I wanted to learn about Mater Dei and the tradition and Servite, and you said, this game is really about the alums, and the players that play in it are hyper-focused on executing the game plan. They won't recognize the magnitude of the Servite week until a few years after they graduate. And at that point in time, Servite and Mater Dei had broken out of the Angeles League. You were in the South Coast. They stayed in the Angeles League, I think, back in the mid-'90s. In any event, you've always said this game is really bigger than the players. It's bigger than both schools, and it really resonates now nationally. But there's just tremendous tradition and respect with this rivalry between the two programs.
Yeah, Kevin, it goes so deep, and when you've got an old warhorse like me that played in 3 of these, I can remember almost every play. As foggy as my brain is, I remember a lot of plays from each of those great games. And we got beat when I was a 10th grader, and it still stings. And I can tell you, I will get reminders. The great Servite quarterback Mark Woods that led them to a championship that year. He's going to email me or text me, and I guarantee it's going to say, I don't care about what you've done as a coach. I beat you. We beat you. It's that thick.
Perfect.
And basically what you get is the bragging rights for one more year. And the kids at any time they play Servite, whether it's in basketball, I mean, that score is going to be somewhere. It's, I mean, this thing's been going on. John Hewitt in 1961. Think about it. Pete Sanchez, all the legends of the 60s. My guys, the Morgan brothers, we all did this thing. My senior year, Kevin, they took this game to Anaheim Stadium. Now, Anaheim Stadium was literally, it was its inaugural year of just being built. And it's still, I believe, a record for largest attendance for a non-playoff game. I think there were 28,000 in the house. And I know you're going to say, well, why wouldn't we move it to a bigger venue? No, that thought never crossed my mind, because there's nothing better than the Santa Ana Bowl at 9,000.
But for
Saturday
years, you had it. You guys were going back and forth between the bowl and Cerritos and Anaheim Stadium. It was kind of normal for Mater Dei and Servite to play at Anaheim Stadium.
That got kicked off. Servite, without their own stadium and a home field like we have it at the Bowl, we've played them at Cerritos. We've played them everywhere. Glover Stadium games there.
Cal State Fullerton too.
Last spring at the Bowl.
Yeah.
Mater Dei has always played at the Bowl, exclusive of the '60s visit to Anaheim Stadium, and then when we celebrated the 50th anniversary, I forget, 2007, when Matty was a junior, Matt Barkley, and we took the show to Anaheim Stadium, and it's a great atmosphere for everything except the noise. You don't feel the energy. You feel those big, beautiful lights on you and this booming sound system, but you don't hear the crowd. And I don't care how you skin the cat. I mean, I remember that night there was like 19,000 people, but there were still 40,000 people dressed like seats. It doesn't have that home cooked.
You're 100% correct. It needs to be played in the Bowl.
Yeah.
Or the place where people are hanging off the rafters or climbing over the fence and behind the scoreboard.
And the respect. For years now, Servite's going to be in their home uniform. Their black uniform, and the Monarchs are going to be in red, and that's a tradition that started. I don't know when. I know we did it. It was when I came in '89. It's circled on my calendar every year.
Props to Troy Thomas. I mean, he's really goosed that thing and gotten it back to where it belongs. So, props to Troy and the staff over there. They've done a really good job getting that thing turned around.
Well, it just makes the Trinity League that much more formidable. It just makes the Trinity League that much more nationally recognized. It doesn't get any better. 2 undefeated teams. I don't, probably like Troy, we don't care about rankings, but, it's 1 versus 2, and as it should be, baby.
Well, you guys will have great seats right there on the sidelines. It's on Valley Sports, 8 o'clock kick. Saturday night game, 8 o'clock at the Bowl. Just a reminder, this podcast is brought to you each and every week by Bear Premium Plus and Bear Dynasty, and also our good friends at Hooker Crook Cellars, the Field Blend Reserve, available at your nearby Costco. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll have All-American wide receiver C.J. Williams and the man, the myth, the legend, the 4.5 GPA student, and I think he also busts the 4.5 and the 40. The guy that's just taken the top off, number 18, Cooper Barkate, will join us right after the break. And we want to welcome you back to Coach's Corner. Kevin Turner, along with C.J. Williams, the All-American wide receiver, wears number 8 in your program, and Cooper Barkate, who's just absolutely put on a show here in 2021. Number 18 had 3 touchdowns last week.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding work, gentlemen. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here in the Coach's Corner as a former wide receiver. There's a brotherhood, and I love watching you guys do your thing on Friday night. And let's start with you, CJ. You've been here for 4 years. Right. You were on the varsity as a freshman, so you're winding this thing down. You're committed right now to the University of Notre Dame, and congratulations. But I know that SC and UCLA and Arizona State and everybody else is still ringing your phone off the hook, so congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But let's just talk for a minute about this week's Servite and sort of what those 3 stripes mean to you as you'll wear those 3 stripes for the last time against Servite on Saturday night.
Yeah. For me, wearing the 3 stripes is something way bigger than me. It's way bigger than everyone else that's just in this program right now. I feel like it's something that goes past to Monarchs that have come before us. Like you said, your son. and people of that nature. I looked back and I still remember those games. I played with guys like Bryce Young, Brew McCoy, and I still can look in their eyes. And those are the guys that I learned a lot from, and I got to watch. And even that 2017 team, I watched as an 8th grader. So they brought this different level of play and sweat equity into the things that they did. And I felt like the pride, poise, and courage that they held was something that it's my responsibility to maintain even up until this point. So.
Excellent. Coop, you're a relative newcomer. What is it?
Sir.
What's it mean to wear those 3 stripes? I mean, you heard about it obviously from the outside, but once you step inside the hallowed halls of the Murillo Center and in that locker room, and that night where you did the striping ceremony, what did that mean to you for the first time as a senior, departing senior, put those 3 stripes on your helmet? What does it mean to you to be a Monarch?
So yeah, it really changed everything, putting those 3 stripes on, and after the ceremonies and all the talks with Coach Rollinson, it really does change, and it kind of has an essence over you when you put on those 3 stripes. Yeah, you do always hear about it from the outside, and just from everyone talking about how great Mater Dei is and what makes the team so great year in and year out. But yeah, those 3 stripes, when you put it on, you make a promise to yourself and your brothers that what you're going to do is what you put those stripes on for.
Uphold the tradition.
Exactly.
Is the commitment. And I want to let the audience know this young man to my left with a 4.5 GPA has an offer from Harvard, the Crimson. That's quite an accomplishment for you, and you should be very proud of that accomplishment.
Thank you.
The #1 university, year over year, U.S. News, the Wall Street Journal. Tell us about that journey. How did that all come about?
Well, I mean, I always grew up kind of dreaming of playing big-time football, and even though I kind of got that opportunity, not only in high school, but I had those opportunities for college. One of my sister goes to Harvard, so that kind of opened a whole new door for me. Really opened my eyes to a whole different aspect of the world. So yeah, as I got to learn more about the university and the football team, I kind of saw the opportunities that it could give me as just a person besides a football player. I got really excited about the opportunity, and I decided to take it.
So is that commitment steadfast, or is there a little window of opportunity for maybe some of the Pac-12 schools to get involved, or Notre Dame, or I mean, are you open, or is it just you're honored to have that opportunity right now to go to Harvard?
I'm definitely really honored, and it's pretty steady, my decision. Yeah, even though the other universities and opportunities are great, but I'm pretty content with what I got.
So look to your left right here, and you can see this young man smiling. Who's the guy that moves the needle in the wide receiver room? I mean, are you the card shark, or
no,
is it
definitely
CJ?
Mr. Williams right here. Yeah, he's a four-year varsity guy. So,
okay.
Yeah, he's a great leader. He's our team captain, and yeah, he's really our offensive leader with a young quarterback and not a ton of experience throughout the offense. He's definitely our leader, and he does a great job. And yeah, he's definitely the one that kind of sets the tone throughout all the meetings and everything.
How cool will it be next year to flip on the TV and, if he ends up at Notre Dame or wherever, to see some your brothers playing on
I know, it'll be
Saturday.
crazy seeing all of us go to different places, but yeah, you better be scoring touchdowns every weekend. Yeah.
Is there something that, you might give back after a score to the Mater Dei brotherhood?
The 8 up or something.
Yeah.
8 and 18, something like that,
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, who was your idol growing up? Who did you model, CJ, your offensive skill set? Was there a college player, a pro player, was a Mater Dei guy that you said, I want to be like that guy?
Right. Yeah. Growing up, I was a very, very, very big Alabama fan. My dad went to the University of Alabama, and I watched Julio Jones kind of do his thing in college and do all these different things just at a high level. Playing the best football in the SEC. I thought that was something I could really take away, and that's when I really started to form this imagination towards I wanted to be a wide receiver, and I wanted to play it proficiently and do things a certain way. As I've gone through my life, I've watched different guys like Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen, who lives down here in SoCal, and you see him working out and doing all these different things as far as with footwork and football IQ. I think that's very, very important to me and something he holds high. That's a guy I think you could really model your game after. Anybody could, DeAndre Hopkins and these guys that you see kind of going up through the ranks. As far as Mater Dei, there's a long list that you can go through. I watched Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he was probably one of the best football players just all around that I've ever seen. He was explosive. He accelerated in and out of his routes. He did all these little things correctly, and that's kind of something that you really strive for as a wide receiver. And then you can look at Brew. Brew was just one of those guys that was just an athletic freak, and he imposed his will on everybody. So if you take both aspects of their games, you kind of put into your own. Like, really, I don't understand how a wide receiver can get stopped in that way. So
great assessment, folks. This young man's got a future as an analyst. A+. Now, Coop, you got some tough shoes to fall.
Yeah.
Who do you model your game after?
You always look at the best to get the best. So you always look into the pros and kind of model your game after them. I'm a huge Devontae Adams fan for the Packers. I kind of believe he's one of the best receivers out right now. Definitely DeAndre Hopkins as well in the pros. But besides that, I really just look around to different players for inspiration, and I love kind of looking inwards and looking in my what I can improve on myself in my game. So I usually self-assess what I can improve on, and then kind of figure out what I need to do, and then look at someone in that aspect to improve on.
Excellent. Where'd you get your speed, mom or dad?
It's a tough one. I'm probably gonna go with my dad. My mom might be mad at me for saying that. Probably my dad.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's quick scouting report. You've got another outstanding wide receiver on the other side.
Right.
Team Mac. You guys all know each other. You're passing leagues together, and give us your assessment of what you see on the other side from Team Mac.
For me, I'll start it, but for me, I'm a guy that's always been compared to T-Mac. It's always been, who's better, CJ or T-Mac? So I always tend to look at his game and compare it to mine, which, may not be the best thing, but, it's part of that competitive nature that I was raised in. I think that modern day has brought me upon. I think T-Mac is just a competitor, like much like me, and I think that all these top guys are. He's a guy that if you throw the ball up, he's going to go up and get it, and that's what really he should value about his game. His connection with his quarterback is something really valuable too. Like, they've been playing since I think they were 13 years old together.
Yeah,
and
good chemistry.
Very, very good chemistry, and that's something that only a wide receiver can dream of. I think the way he plays the game, it's real fluid in his game, and you can just tell he's a natural athlete. He's a basketball player and a volleyball player. So.
Well, you guys are going to put on a show. Coop, talk about your sophomore quarterback. When you look in his eyes, game's on the line. Do you see confidence there? Do you see somebody that's measured and knows that he can get the job done? What's that dynamic like with your young quarterback?
Absolutely. So he, came in last year as a freshman, and not probably the highest, hyped up freshman. He came in just ready to work. He ended up winning the job, and we've really gotten to see him kind of evolve and develop in front of our eyes. It's kind of been crazy from last year going into this year. And he's grown tremendously, and he's only going to get better. Literally the sky's the roof for him. But yeah, he's always a kid that's very very steady, and he always can control the offense, and he's definitely very confident in his abilities. And it's great to have him as our quarterback.
CJ, you get to watch, your man Bryce Young do his thing. He's a front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Very calm, very measured. I see that same kind of measured steadiness with Elijah.
100%. Yeah, and that was something I was going to say right when you asked the question you were asking to Cooper. I was like, I looked into those exact same eyes when I saw Bryce Young in that St. John Bosco game I played with him my sophomore year both times. You see Elijah, and he gets into these big-time games, and these games against very, very good defense, very, very good defenses that scout him very well. And they think they know what Elijah's doing, but they really don't, because they bring pressure, and he just responds in a way that was very similar to Bryce, very similar to like a composed NFL college quarterback. So.
Well, it should be a great game. You guys are going to put on a fantastic show. Let me just close this out. Favorite post-game victory meal for you, CJ? I'll start with you first.
We always go to In-N-Out as a team. I think that's very important. It's a good aspect of high school.
Right down here on Bristol.
Down here in Bristol, yeah.
Tradition continues.
So 4x4 burger with just cheese and pickles. Knock that out, and I go home and I hit the hay for Saturday morning practice.
Regular fries or animal style?
I'm definitely an animal style fries guy. I think those are probably the better option.
All right, well, animal style to both of you guys. Saturday night, continued success, good health, and God bless, and thanks for stopping by the Coach's Corner.
Thank you as well.
All right, man. Coop, Barkate, and CJ Williams, ladies and gentlemen, two of my favorites. We'll take a time out and come back with Coach Bruce Rollinson right after this.
Yes, sir.
And welcome back to Coach's Corner. Kevin Turner along with the Coach Bruce Rollinson. I'm telling you what, Coach, both those young men, CJ and Cooper Barkate, they just knocked it out of the park. Articulate, bright, succinct. I mean, they've got a future. And CJ said he wants to get into commercial real estate. I'm sold. I'll hire him.
Yeah.
As soon as he's ready, as soon as he gets his license. You know, he can work for me in the off season when he's not catching footballs in the NFL. I mean, both these young men have incredibly bright futures.
Well, and the thing is, again, they're just good kids. They're what you and I imagine that modern day high school is all about. And your son was the same way. And obviously look at his success. You know, and I'm proud that, you know, they represent our program and they represent this great high school. But I also know we could line them up here, okay? They may not talk as fluently, but they're still good kids. And now when this happens to me, Kevin, it's where I reflect and go, I'm lucky because I get to be with them more than their parents. And to be surrounded by these young men with aspirations to do greatness, not just on the athletic field. You know, you heard CJ and Coop, and I have so many more that you know, it's why you keep coming back, you know, that and a game like Saturday night.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Just let's talk about the game a little bit, not giving away all your strategy. We're going to air this before the game, but let's kind of go through those keys again. Let's start with the bottom, 3, 2, 1. Take us through kind of the focus this week on just, you know, strategic kind of big game plan thoughts.
I'm going to talk to the defense. I think in high school football, and I know this sounds funny with a quarterback like Noah and how accurate he is, but you have to stop the run first. And Troy likes to run the football, and they're running it well behind a very large and well-coached line. We have to stop that. Now you say, but you stop the run, you put the ball in the hands of Noah. You and I also know that, you know, irregardless, there are going to be incomplete passes. There are going to be passes that are off. It's harder to move a high school ball club 50, 60, 80 yards at a shot consistently just airing it out. So, you know, stop the run is one of our keys, and we have to accomplish that. Second thing is our offensive line, and I'm not going to say we need to run the football, but we need that. Relique Brown has to make a major contribution, but I'm not going to tell the kids that. He knows that. But our offensive line has to get control early against a really good, active, shifting, stunting defensive line and a good linebacker core. You know, that's huge. You know, just watch it on Bally's, and if we're getting it done up front, you know, we're that much closer to success. And then like I've told the kids, and it's three things combined into one. What I want them to do, and I've started to lay the groundwork, and I will finish it before we go out, is it's about preparation. Every rep today, yesterday we had a great practice. Every rep, everything is geared towards perfection. Preparation, uncover every stone, everything, deal with the hype. There's going to be TV cameras out there. There's, you know, even just the podcast interviews. They've already had different kids have been interviewed today by different organizations, news organizations. Deal with the hype, and then have fun Saturday night. Have fun, you know, and cherish this memory, because we talked about it earlier. You are going to remember this game for the rest of your life. You know, I'm 72, and like I said, I remember so many plays in those 3 years of competition. But I also remember, you know, it's fun. It's fun, and have fun, you know. Throw caution to the wind and just go 100 miles an hour, and we'll correct the mistakes on the following Monday, because we can't see them on Sunday. But that's the whole key, okay? We can take care of the preparation. How do they deal with all this hype? I mean, coming into the stadium and you've got ESPN and you've got everything, just cameras and social media. All that is built into this hype. You know, keep that under control. Okay, don't let it own you. Don't let it possess you. And then put a smile on your face, buckle that bad boy up tight, because it's going to be a war.
Well, Coach, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is.
Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Turn it loose and put a smile on your face. I'll be out in the desert with my feet up and a cold one in my hand and be cheering for the Monarchs.
Well, you see, for the audience, Kevin gave me this little notebook. I know this sounds stupid, and it folds up in my back pocket. And I don't know if you've seen, but when I get a little upset, I did it in the Bosco game. I did it last week, and I actually used my notes as part of my presentation in the team meeting yesterday. But I just write things down, and I'm writing down, okay, penalty. There it is, right there.
I've got it right here.
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
fits in your hip pocket.
Yeah,
It works.
And it has a calming effect for me, but all of a sudden, you know, I'm walking off at halftime and I'm looking at my notes saying, well, okay, I got to go over this, you know. I mean, we had 4 penalties in the first quarter, and 2 of them enhanced, you know, their ability, and what I talked to him about is opportunity. This is a game. If we can capitalize on the opportunities, because they're going to be there, okay, and we're going to have success. We're going to have success, and we've got to minimize their number of opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what great games are all about. So we look forward to everybody being out there. It's on, baby. I'm going to sign it off in Servite week. Rock and roll, baby. Have fun. I'll see you Saturday night.
All right. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.